is the first generation of the Vinfast VF MPV7, and as the name suggests, this is an MPV. It's a 7-seater MPV priced at ₹25.89 lakhs on road Mumbai. There's just one variant on offer. Meanwhile, all its rivals have multiple variants and also multiple battery options, but not here. Straight away, let's open the engine bay, because that is the battery management system, which is actually sitting quite low down. You get the orange high voltage cabling, but there's so much space here that they could have easily put a frunk, but there is no frunk here, which is quite surprising and disappointing as well. There's insulation here, and my goodness, yeah, you can put a V8 engine here. There's just so much space. Now, coming to the design of the car, it is a typical Vinfast with the typical design language, with a connected DRL with the Vinfast logo here. I mean, we have seen it in the other Vinfast cars like the VF6 and the VF7. This is the third Vinfast car for India, and it actually is quite big. But there is no radar here because there is no ADAS here. Now, this is the main light, which also is for the low beam as well as the high beam. There is no separate light as such. This becomes brighter for high beam. This connected DRL continues all the way. I have turned on the indicator here, so that's how the indicator actually functions. Now, it's a very smart looking car without the Vinfast logo and without this design. The overall silhouette could remind you of a Tesla maybe, and you get non-colored bumper here. Why? Because that's cheaper to produce, obviously, or maybe to reduce the visual bulk. Not in this color though. There's 6 color options. There are 2 interior color options, and there's the all black, which is this car. There's the dual tone, which is tan and black, which I think would be the better color option to opt for. In terms of size, it's big. It's more than 4.7 meters in terms of length. The wheelbase is more than 2.8 meters, which is big. In fact, the wheelbase is longer than the Mahindra XEV 9E9S. Yeah, that is massive, and that's the reason this car has got a lot of interior space as well. The wheels don't look that great. These are blackened wheels. However, alloy wheel design could have been adventurous. 235, 50, 19 is the size of the tires. I don't know why I'm singing. There is no side camera. It's there. Oh my god, there seems to be a provision, but the camera is only not there. So I think globally they offer the same, however not in India. Now, this is the button. If you press it, you can unlock the car. It's there on both the sides, but you don't need it. I didn't show you the key of the car because if I remove the key, the car will automatically turn off. If you have the key in your pocket, you approach the car will automatically turn on. You move away from the car with the key, the car will automatically turn off as well. So it obviously has that feature, and it automatically turns on the car because there is no button to turn on the car as such. Anyways, it gets rear discs, thankfully. Let's get inside. The doors are like really wide. Look at the size of the doors, massive. Well, that's what she said. Door pockets are also big enough. The speakers have this different sort of a design which doesn't really gel with the overall theme of the car. There is no rear sunblind here, which is quite disappointing. And you get some soft material here because leather it, but lot of hard plastics almost everywhere. So leatherette finish on the seats, on the steering wheel as well. And in terms of space, you're not going to complain because the seats slide ahead and behind. You can recline it as well. This is completely reclined and pushed all the way behind. That is completely upright and pushed all the way ahead, so you can understand minimum and maximum room as such. Let's sit here. Let me tell you first things first, that there's good amount of footroom because it has this step up there. In fact, leg room and knee room is also good, but underside support is not the best. Headroom is also adequate for someone as tall as me. You get height adjustable seat belts here. A handle which is well damped, and the dashboard is too minimalistic, I feel. Meanwhile, you get rear AC vents, a USB-C and a USB-A charging socket, but hard plastics here. Flat floor, which means 3 people should ideally be comfortable here, but the cabin is not that wide. It's a bit narrow, so 3 people are not really comfortable. Surprisingly, there is no rear center armrest, although all headrests are adjustable. Proper headrest for all the passengers in the car, which is fantastic. But notice one thing, there's just too much cushioning in the seat, because of which it's not very comfortable. Yeah, the seats could be better. Magazine holder here. Overall rear seat experience is good, but could be a lot better by having less cushioning for the seats. Yeah, they just overdone it there. Now let me get out from here because we have to get into the third row, for which all I have to do is tumble the seat, and now I can get into the third row. Now the third row seats are actually the best in this segment. First things first, let me put this back. Yeah, oopsie doo. And you can see there isn't much space as such. Okay, I have to push this behind all the way, so I've reclined it quite a lot. No space as such. However, you can obviously negotiate with the second row passengers, so then there would be space, but underside support is obviously very bad because you sit in a knees up position. Headroom seems adequate enough. Third row also gets its own AC vents. Some storage space has been given here, storage space has been given there as well, and the vents on the top actually quite usable. Handle to hold on to as well. So yeah, that is a bit smart, and if you want to get out, just pull this lever like this and there it tumbles. So yes, third row is not the best, but it's not bad when compared to rivals. It's actually better than them. But the good part is that for your foot, you actually have a raised thing here, which means that you can comfortably rest your foot there. You don't have to slide it in front of the second row seats or below the second row of seats. And it has this theatre style seating, which means this third row is slightly higher than the second row, and the second row is higher than the front row or the first row, because of which you get a good view of what's around. And you've got manual AC controls here with settings, so you can turn on the AC from here and increase the fan speed as well, which is quite nice. But in the screen, you have actually got digital AC controls for the rear seats. Digital for the rear would be better at the rear as well, right? Now let's get out from here. Seats again have the excess cushioning, but proper headrest. Wow, what is happening? That's kind of crazy. Let me just walk out from here. Let's put this back. Yeah. And notice one thing, you can obviously flip it from here. You can flip it from here as well. And this car has got 4 airbags. What? 6 airbags is mandatory, I thought. Meanwhile, it's got a 4-speaker sound system. Audio quality is not good at all. So yeah, it seems that Vinfast is focused on the size of the car rather than features. The rear design again will remind you of Vinfast's typical design, with the lights going like this, the DRL or the brake light, or whatever you want to call it. The DRL is at the front. This is actually the parking light, which is turned on at the moment. This is the indicator. This is the reverse light. Fake treatment happening here. Vinfast branding. There's a camera here, very low down. Reflector treatment. 4 parking sensors at the rear. This is body colored, not painted. And you can see the underbody, pretty nicely concealed battery here. You get a rear wiper, and I think there's a washer function, but that doesn't work only. I don't think this is a washer function. Is it a washer function? No, this is not a washer function, because I struggled to turn on the washer for the rear wiper. I'll show you why it's so complicated. You get a shark fin antenna, you get a rear spoiler, you get a high mounted stop lamp as well, and that's about it. MPV7, the name of the car. Now when you come to the side, you realize long wheelbase, but thankfully good ground clearance as well, 185 mm. Meanwhile, charging happens here. Let me open the charging port. Notice it says AC and DC right there, and this will obviously blink when you're charging the car. You just get a rain sensor there. There's no camera for ADAS and all those things, obviously. Now, once you step inside, you realize, where are the electric seats? Because this is manual adjust, 6-way manual adjust seats. It does not get electric adjust, and here it gives you information about what is the tire pressure you should put and the vehicle details as well. You get a proper dead pedal there. Door pockets also big at the front, and you get 1 touch up and down power windows. All the power windows are 1 touch up and down, which is fantastic. Meanwhile, the door knob is actually quite unique. This is how you open the door. I quite like it, but lot of hard plastics everywhere. This car is filled with hard plastics. Again, excess cushioning on the seats. Unfortunately, there's some storage space here below. You get a USB-C and a USB-A charging socket, along with a 12-volt charging socket, which can charge fast up to 120 watt. However, there is a problem. The problem happens to be the fact that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are wired, and you have to connect by USB-A. I don't have a single USB-A, I only have USB-C. So that's something which is quite surprising. Let's straight away open the boot. How did I even forget opening the boot and not show you the boot? So with all the rows up, boot carrying capacity 126 liters, which is small. You can push these seats down, very easy to do that. Just push it like this. Once you fold these seats down, it increases to 606 liters, and if you push both the seats down and fold them, it becomes 1240 liters, wherein you can actually carry a small house probably. You get a 12-volt charging socket, a light placement here, but hard plastics almost everywhere. This is the charging cable which comes with the car, which is the 3.5 kilowatt AC charger, home charging, very slow. But yeah, that is how it is. You have to pay for a faster charger, I believe, or charge outside, but charging is free till 2029, so why would you even care? Here you get some storage space with a warning triangle, a cheap first aid kit. Everyone gets this cheap first aid kit. Where do you get it, on Meesho or what? And you get the tire inflator along. No, this is the puncture repair kit. Tire sealant actually, and this is the tire inflator. Why? Because this car does not get a spare wheel. No spare wheel in this car. Again, hard plastics everywhere. What is this? Yeah, this is, in case the boot is not opening, you just pull it to open it from inside. I think that's a US regulation, so they had to mandatorily put it. I mean, they are obviously having huge ambitions for selling this car in the United States of America. No roof rails here. Roof gets this weird design. I mean, look at this, dips and doops. But there is no sunroof, there is no moonroof also. What? Anyways, let's sit here. AC vent has this continuous treatment as well, like the Audi Q7 and the Audis and the Ertigas and all those things. Right now indicator is on, so it's making a lot of sound, so let me turn it off. Now it shuts. This looks really cool with this frameless treatment, but you know what, this is not auto dimming, this is manual. There is no mirror here. What is this? There is no mirror here as well. Surprise, surprise. And this is obviously for the light treatment. Buttons are for the light, and the hazard light switch is placed here on the top. Now the thing is, this car has a lot of storage space. Like I told you, there's something below. There's a proper place for your phone here, but it does not get wireless charging. Twin cup holders here, some storage space here as well, and there's storage space here too. Lot of storage space in this car, which is one of the major reasons why you would end up buying this, just because for the practicality and the space. You press this button and then you open the glove box, which is decent size, does not get the cooling function. You get this quick reference guide. Yeah, that's about it, around 40 pages. I don't know where is the proper owner's manual, because it seems to be inside the screen. There's no heads-up display here. Other VinFast cars have heads-up display, which means that you have to really look into the screen to see your speed and all those things. So that's kind of distracting. The dashboard is actually huge. And let's quickly use the wiper, because the car's glass has got a bit dirty. It was raining on and off. Wipers work decently well. It gets automatic function for the headlights though, and I thought wipers would also be automatic, because I thought I saw rain sensor. I don't think that's the case. Anyways, now look at this. This is for the light control, okay? This is for the wiper control, and this is to turn on the washer for the front wiper. For the rear wiper, there is nothing in this switch. You have to do it from here, and I'll show you why it's so confusing. Meanwhile, this gas selector has come from a Mercedes car. Exact ditto carbon copy it is. You get this flat bottom treatment, the VinFast logo here. These are the buttons for the cruise control, voice commands, phone, and this is for the audio mode. This is for volume control, and this is to browse through what? I don't even know what it browses, because I'm pressing the button, nothing is happening. Probably it should be able to make changes through this screen, because there's obviously no heads-up display or no instrument cluster as well. I don't understand the logic of not having an instrument cluster. It's quite baffling. Cost cutting, not the best kind. Steering is adjustable both for reach as well as rake. The horn is surprisingly good. It does not say airbag here. Usually there's a provision for an airbag here, but it's just khali, empty. Now the interior color is all black, which looks quite sporty, but without a glass roof or any glass on the roof, it doesn't make the cabin feel airy at all. Of course, everything is in this particular screen, so let's remove this right away. This is a 10.1 inch screen, which doesn't look like a 10.1 inch screen because the dashboard is so huge. You think this is actually a smaller screen. There's no engine vehicle start button as such. You have a calendar here. This is for audio. This is the time right now. It's telling me the car is ready to drive, fasten seat belts, what's the range, odometer, and you have a lot of buttons. So this is to lock and unlock the vehicle. No. There is no button to lock or unlock the vehicle from here. It's inside here. If you want to adjust the mirrors, how do you do it? You have to get into this menu here. And now I realize why these buttons are there. So you decide you want to adjust the right mirror, then you do it from here. Yeah, that is how it works. Why is it not working, bro? Don't do this to me right now. Yeah, there I can adjust the mirror. I have to do it from here. So this is actually that. Unnecessarily complicating things in this car. So you can fold the mirrors from here. Yeah, you have to fold it from here. Why? I mean, that's so complex. Now, this is the AC menu. Again, there are no physical buttons. There's absolutely zero buttons in this car. Everything is reliant on this touchscreen. And the air conditioning is decent. It's quick enough, but you know, you are completely reliant on the touchscreen to operate the screen, which is very disappointing. Seems like a single zone climate control air conditioning system. And this is the front demister. This is the rear demister climate control. This is for the volume. Volume is also from the screen, bro. What are you saying? This is to turn on the camera. It just gets a rear parking camera. That's about it. Does not get adaptive guidelines. That is kind of weird. Doesn't even occupy the full screen. What is happening, VinFast? This could have been done a lot better for the price, considering the rivals obviously offer a lot more. Now here, driving preferences, you have the drive modes, you have the regenerative levels, and then you have the power and regen display, which you can turn on and off. So I think it tells you somewhere here. ESC you can turn off from here. Auto hold function is there. Creep mode is there for creeps. No, not really, for creeping, for like crawling the car obviously. And then this is for the rear parking assist. Just one menu here. This is basically for the various locking parameters of the car, at what time you want the car to automatically lock with speed sensitive door lock and anti-theft alarm. Here you get the odometer and the trip meters, which is telling you average speed, distance, and what's the average power consumption. And this is for the follow me home headlamps, headlamp leveling, wiper service mode, and auto rear wiper. This is the only function which lets you use the rear wiper, it seems, because when you're using the front wipers, it will use the rear wipers. Otherwise, there is no proper switch that you can just press this and turn on the wipers. No, you can't do that to the rear wipers. This is something I've never seen in any car, and I'm so confused. Why is it done like this? In fact, a lot of things actually confuse me in this car. Firstly, it does not have any welcome or goodbye animation. The lights are plain and basic as such, and this is to auto fold the mirrors. That's about it. Okay, you have these widgets here. In this EV setting, you can see what is the battery percentage. You can limit the charging as well. You can also decide at what level should you be reminded of charging the battery of the vehicle. But that's about it. There's a web browser here. I think it has got connected car, so it has got an eSIM, because of which you can browse the internet. Right now, does it let me browse the internet? Okay, swipe or hold to wash. What exactly? Rear wiper. Rear wiper is working, but I want spray to happen. Yeah, now finally the spray worked. Oh my god, I finally discovered how it works. It's actually very complex. Now I need to remember where this menu was, because oh my god, I am so confused. Okay, I pull it from the top and then this menu comes, and then only I can decide. It says LTE not connected. The internet doesn't seem to be connected right now. So this is the menu, which has an owner's manual, using which you can obviously go and clear your doubts, or you can probably see my video because I'm going to talk about everything. It says you are offline. So here it tells me everything about the vehicle, how to use various functions. Maybe I should have read this to understand how to make the rear wipers work, because that's something I was trying to understand for a really long time and I was simply not able to figure it out. So that's something I am just a little disappointed about, that things are a little bit too complex unnecessarily. This service menu is basically to understand when you need to service the car. You can call roadside assistance and all those things, like basic stuff. Again, it has a day and night display. In fact, you can change the themes. Now again, to find where I can change the theme, I have to really figure things out, because it's a bit difficult. This is for the phone connection. This is for Wi-Fi, voice commands, audio system. No, this, yeah, also for the audio system. And here are the various themes. So there is a Vinfast theme, which, how do I activate, bro? Okay, I turn off automatic themes and ye gayab hi ho gaya. This is the light theme. This is the Vinfast theme. And this is the dark theme, I think. Yeah, dark theme. I'm just going to put the Vinfast theme. I think that is kind of cool. And then you can change the wallpaper if you want. Again, very basic wallpapers, nothing too adventurous. And then you can obviously go into the brightness and all, but too much reliance on the screen, which is not such a good thing here. This car also gets a tire pressure monitoring system. I have to hunt for it actually. It has got electric parking brake, so there's no physical handbrake, but there is no EPB button either. It automatically activates and deactivates. It gets a PM 2.5 air filter. Again, that's somewhere in the AC menu, again, for which you have to dig deep inside the menu, unfortunately. And it has something known as a camp mode, wherein the car will automatically turn off after some time, but it will let you go in camp mode, wherein you can actually use this particular screen in spite of leaving the car. The key is this one, which has the Vinfast logo. Unlock the car, lock the car, and this to open the boot. It does not get an electric tailgate, but it has got OTA, over the air updates, for this particular screen, because electric cars obviously have all those things and more. Anyways, let's start driving right away. Alright, let's start driving the car. Not that it's going to turn off unless and until you move away from the car with the key. Let's turn off the air conditioning. Every time you turn on the car, it shows you the Vinfast logo here. It also shows the number scrolling up all the way, speed to 300 kilometers per hour. That's some level of optimism, honestly. And straight away I come into drive and off we go. Someone has not spared the spare wheel of that Thar. That's a 3-door. It's vanished. Anyways, straight away let me tell you, the car is very small. I don't know why it's fogging up, so let's use the wiper to actually remove the fog there. So yeah, the car is extremely smooth, and when you come under this bridge, I realized that there is no ambient lighting, which is kind of surprising for this price point. Anyways, what do we have here? Well, first and foremost, we have an electric motor, obviously, which is at the front. This is front wheel drive, which is not such a good thing, and I'll tell you why. Because EVs traditionally have more torque and instant torque. They tend to torque steer too much, so having front wheel drive with an EV layout doesn't make sense, unless and until obviously it's all wheel drive. So here there are 3 disadvantages of an EV being front wheel drive. First and foremost is obviously torque steer, because you're doing steering and you're doing power on the same wheel. Second is packaging challenges, because When you have the motor there, you can't have a big frunk, not that it has a small frunk either. And the third thing is crash worthiness, because now you have to take care of all that weight of the electric motor in a crash. So no, absolutely no for front wheel drive EVs. The problem is all Asians love front wheel drive, whether it is Honda, whether it is Toyota, whether it is the Koreans also, like say you know whom I'm talking about, Hyundai and Kia. All of them are doing front wheel drive EVs only. Makes no sense. And Vinfast, also being Asian, is doing front wheel drive EV here. Now, onto the throttle, the response is very mellowed down because we are in eco mode right now. What battery do we have? 60.13 kilowatt hour battery pack, and the power output is phenomenal at 204 PS or around 200 horsepower. Meanwhile, the torque output here happens to be considerable at 280 Newton meters of torque. Well, the result is the car is really very peppy. Get into the throttle and it responds instantly. Now, first things first, we have to get into the drive mode to understand that, because there are 3 drive modes here. There's Eco, in which we are right now. Screen does take some time. There's Eco, there is Normal, and I can instantly feel more performance. And there's obviously Sport, which gives me the full grunt. And all of a sudden, okay, that's the speed alarm which is ringing. Fasten seatbelts, dude. All the seatbelts are fastened. Why are you making that sound? I think Bhagwati is behind, so it thinks that no, I've also fastened the seatbelt of Bhagwati, so it should not be ringing. That's kind of funny why it's ringing. I think that's the 80 alarm. Let's slow down below 80. Does it shut? Yes, it does. So in terms of view around, it is fantastic because obviously the glass area is massive here. You get to see a lot of things around you, because even though the dashboard is big, the view around is really very nice. Let's quickly come to the charging times of this car. This car can charge maximum up to a speed of 80 kilowatt for DC and 6.9 kilowatt for AC, which means that it takes around 30 minutes to go from 10 to 70% using a DC fast charger. I was charging this car today and it was kind of slow because unfortunately our chargers are absolute rubbish. When there are 2 cars parked on the same charger or in the same grid, it splits the power. So it was a 60 kilowatt charger. It ended up giving me 30 kilowatt speed, which turned out to be around 28 point something, making this a cumbersome activity to charge a car. The problem is all these next one owners, now they want to charge their car to 100% always, and then they complain that the battery is going. He's like, meri battery kharab ho gaya. I asked that guy, what's the scene, dude? He's like, meri battery kharab ho gaya. And the funny part is, a lot of brands put a lot of stuff inside the screen, like games and all those things, but the watchman at the charging station is telling me you can't sit in the car when the car is charging. Dude, what's wrong with you? Where do I go? He's like, go to the mall. I said, the mall is closed. I mean, that was really ridiculous and not impressive.
क्या बोल रहे हो यार? क्या बोल रहे हो?
मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि चार्जिंग लगाते समय ना गाड़ी में बैठना अलाउड नहीं है।
तो कहाँ बैठे?
ऊपर जाके बैठ सकते ना।
मॉल तो खुला ही नहीं, मॉल तो 11 बजे खुलता है। मैं गर्मी में क्यों बैठो बताओ? और है तो आप लिखो ना, यहाँ पे स्टिकर लगाओ, यहाँ पे कुछ बोर्ड लगाओ कि नॉट अलाउड टू सिट इन कार व्हाइल चार्जिंग। ऐसा थोड़ी होता है।
When you can't sit in your car while charging, then what's the point of having infotainment system with games and all those things? Just beats the point completely. Leader edition, who buys? Anyways, people do. So in terms of driving feel, in spite of the weight of 1875 kgs, it doesn't feel heavy as such. This car, it is light on its feet. It's easy to drive. Steering has a lot of heft in the center position somehow. And overall, it's a very easy car which has a lot of grunt in sport mode, which means that if you have 4 people in the car or 7 as well, I don't know the numbers, it will not struggle to pick up the pace. It will instantly pull you or pull everybody effortlessly. That's the beauty of the electric motor here, with a lot of performance. Now I put regen on high, which means we are going to slow down naturally, but it's not going to come to a halt. There's no one pedal driving here, so there it's just slowing down very gradually, and it's going to cruise at around 6 kilometers per hour. By the way, I realized what the sound is. Indicator sound. See? That's a loud sound for the indicator. Yeah, that's quite loud. Well, that's what she said. Anyways, it's the time to test the 0 to 100 km per hour acceleration of this car. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. Wheel spin. Even with traction control on, you can hear the tire screeching, and that's 0 to 100 km per hour in 7.99 seconds, which is actually quick. Okay, I realized that the steering is kind of slow. Okay, in the straight ahead position, it feels a bit hefty, but below that, oh my god, I feel definitely that the steering could be faster in terms of the weight response. This alarm at 80 is actually continuous. I think they messed up. It's supposed to be continuous after 120, not at 80 itself. Now this car comes with a kilowatt AC charger as standard. Oh, wheel spin, so much wheel spin, that's crazy. Which is not fast. Actually, they should have offered 7 kilowatt charger complimentary with this car considering the pricing. Meanwhile, the ride is on the stiffer side. Yes, low speed ride is on the stiffer side. High speed stability is good. In fact, it feels very tight down to the road at high speeds, which is fantastic. But when you make quick direction changes, you realize that the length is so much, the weight is so much, the height is so much. There is some amount of body roll here. Naturally, it has to be there. I mean, I would say considerable amount of body roll. You can feel the roll with this car, because obviously this is not meant for driving fast around the corners, but there's some wind noise which you can feel around 100 kilometers per hour. In fact, you can also hear a lot of the motor whine, unfortunately. So yes, it is an EV, but it's not the most silent EV because the motor is quite vocal as you push it hard. Now I think we'll do the 0 to 100 km per hour test yet again, but this time I'm going to turn off traction control, because once I do that, all you're going to hear is wheel spin and more wheel spin. But there's a problem, okay? Just keep your eyes glued to this particular aspect of the screen. I'll tell you why. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator. Listen to this, okay? There, all of a sudden the judder and ESC turns on randomly. Makes no sense why it would be so random. Otherwise it turns on at 60 kilometers per hour. But again, here we go. You could hear the motor whine. Anyway, 0 to 100 km per hour in 8.13 seconds, which is actually faster than Vinfast's claim of 9 seconds. So yeah, this guy is much quicker than what they claim it to be, which is actually quite impressive. But what I'm not impressed by is how traction control behaves so weird. It detects, you turn it off, it detects some loss of traction and some more wheel spin. It will automatically turn it off, which is actually a good thing because EV's tires don't last, and the car is all over the place with ESC off. So that's something you have to be careful about. But yes, you want wheel spins, you can do that. Anyways, around the corners, like I was telling you, body roll, not the most dynamic car to drive as such. And now time for the brake test at 100 kilometers per hour. Brakes are good, but they could be better. There's a lot of weight to stop. And off we go. ESC is not even off. Now listen to this, okay? ESC off. I will make the tires go bald in one test drive only. Trust me on this. Yeah, that's the problem with having a front wheel drive EV. You need to do rear wheel drive because then it's just so much better. Understeering nature is obviously there near limit. You will not go near the limit. Even with ESC on, it just spins its wheels aggressively in sport mode because there's so much grunt. In fact, top speed is 140 kilometers per hour, but I think in eco it does 140. In sport and normal night should do 160 kilometers per hour. Not that I could manage those speeds because I'm super scared of depleting the battery. Claim range is 517 kilometers, but in the real world expect somewhere around 400-ish, which is decent. But the problem is this car is available with only a single battery pack, only one variant, priced at rupees 25.89 lakhs on road Mumbai, which is a bit expensive considering it lacks features. Now they obviously have something known as the limo green abroad, which is the commercial vehicle or the commercial version of this car, which has a lesser price or lower price and lesser features. How can it have lesser features than a car which doesn't have much features in the first place? That's something I'm not able to understand. I'm not able to understand the maths of how this car is ringing randomly. And yeah, it shut because I scolded it. That worked somehow. Now, the thing is that the Karen's EV is available in 9 variants with similar pricing, with the top variant having a lot more features. It has the option of 2 battery packs. The XEV 9S starts at a lower price, goes much higher as well, but comes with the option of 3 freaking battery packs. So Vinfast hasn't given us much options as such, which is a bit disappointing because, yeah, obviously we need more options. But the good thing here is this car comes with state-of-the-art warranty. So let's discuss that. First things first, let's launch it once again. Tires are gone. What is this? What are you ringing all the time, making some sound? Auto hold activated. First things first, let me turn off the regen. There are 4 regen modes. Where is the regen mode gone? Yeah, I'm just going to turn it off. And then we are going to turn off ESC as well. And left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. Oh my goodness. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in 8.11 seconds. So consistently, this is actually a very fast car, which actually brings me to what warranties Vinfast is offering, and they are state of the art. First things first, this car comes with 10 years 2 lakh kilometer battery warranty, 7 years 1.6 lakh kilometer vehicle warranty, 7 years of I'm so stupid. Let me stop and try and recollect. Arey, what happened? off we go. 1 second, let's go again now. Oh. So yeah, you get 7 years roadside assistance, 7-year paint warranty, 5 years suspension warranty, 3 years, 36,000 kilometer. Kuch to hai. Free service, yeah, free service. And you get up to 75% buyback as well, which is bonkers. And honestly, one of the major reasons why people would consider this car are obviously the warranties and the service packages, making it effortless to own this car. In fact, let's do some wheel spin now. 1 second. Off ho ja. Now. Ooh. I mean, the motor sound is something people may or may not like, but I definitely like it because I like the sound. The silence is just not for me while driving a car. What is happening here? Traction levels could be better here. Let's go again, but here there's going to be something different. I'm going to stop, get a good patch of road, and then give it the beans. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go. Ooh, ESC on. Still it's wheel spinning to glory. Yeah, I think the direct rival of this car is the BYD E-Max 7 MPV, which is priced slightly higher, 0 to 108.52. Consistently, we are beating Vinfast's claim time, which actually brings me to the major reason why you would be buying this car is free charging till March 2029, which is something very unique. So the sooner you buy it, the more you'll be able to enjoy that free charging, because it's not for 3 years or something. It's still March 2029 at Vinfast's V-Green charging network. But the problem is, it has to be close to your house. It's still being set up. It's going to take some time. On that discovery is time to end. Thank you so much for watching. What I feel is Vinfast has actually got a knife to a gunfight because this car doesn't have many features. Honestly, most people prefer size over the driving feel and performance, and here what Vinfast has done is gone for a bigger car but omitted a lot of features. I think a facelift of this car with a lot more features without much of a price hike is going to make it a viable option in the market, because currently the Carens, Clavis and the Mahindra EVs offer a lot of bang for the buck. I'm talking about only 7-seater ones, and not even getting into the 5-seater Sierra EV, which is twice as fast, or whatever. You get the drift. Bye-bye. Woo!